Hello, my name is Maria Breshers. Today I'm interviewing Master Sergeant Vanessa Johnson, born October 14th, 1963. So Master Sergeant Johnson, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see, I'm a mom of 3 kids and one guy that I took on. I'm a grandparent. I have 6 beautiful grandchildren. I teach, and I've been in the Air Force 25 years. I love kids. They're fun.
What made you join the Air Force?
Oh, boy, I don't know if I should tell that story. You want the honest story, or you want me to make it just sound good?
The honest story.
Okay. In my days of going to college, I was just having way too much fun. And finally, the fun caught up with me, and I was asked to leave. And I just could not go home and tell my parents, hey, I got kicked out of school. So I went home and told my parents, I had a change in my life. I'm going to join the Air Force. And they thought it was a great idea. It was my second option. So I went down to the recruiter and was really going to join the United States Marines because I loved them, my brother's Marine. And that guy walked me over to the U.S. Air Force office. Thus started my career in the U.S. Air Force. So that's my take on taking the Air Force. Nobody ever knew that, so now you got it on camera.
Are you grateful for the decision that he made for you?
It was the best decision. When I got back from basic training, and after all I heard the stuff about the Marines, I was thankful. You know, going through the Air Force training was the best thing to happen to me. I mean, I went to college too later on, but him choosing the Air Force for me was the best thing that happened to me. I got to do so many different things.
Okay, so by you being in the Air Force, do you think that made you a better person, or?
Oh, most definitely. I'm more organized. I'm more focused. The Air Force allowed me to have 3 degrees. Our branch is the service that promotes education. And because they were high on education, and I married a gentleman that demanded education, I was able to get 3 degrees out of my career as an Air Force personnel.
So other than the Air Force promoting education, what are some other perks of the Air Force?
Oh, unity. The brotherhood and the unity in the Air Force is like no other. We take care of our own. I mean that. Even after you get out of the Air Force, my connections with the Air Force allotted me places and things that I probably wouldn't have gotten even if I had gone on to college in my younger years. Family, I consider myself to have a large family. While we may not have blood, we have things that join us together, call our U.S. Air Force blood.
So after your years of service, are you still connected with some of the people there?
Oh, most definitely. After serving in the Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and the other, 9/11, I have connections that I will never break. We are tied and bond forever. We see each other in the summers. Our kids play together. We go to graduation. We are united. We're together forever.
That's a wonderful thing. That's wonderful. If you could do it all over again, would you?
Yes, I would. I wouldn't have waited so long to go in the Air Force. I would have made that decision earlier rather than wasted money, my parents trying to go to college when I knew I wasn't really ready to do that either.
What are some things that you could change about the Air Force?
Oh, I think I would go back for the Air Force having a 6-week basic training versus 8 weeks. I still believe that the Air Force can teach all they need to teach to you in basic training in 6 weeks. So I changed that back. The Air Force is always moving forward, so I mean I'm pretty much okay with those things. I am an old-fashioned person. Some of the jobs that are allotted to females, I probably wouldn't have opened those jobs up to females because I'm old-fashioned.
So what was your least favorite part about being in the Air Force?
Oh, I hated sleeping in the desert. And that doesn't happen often with the Air Force, but because we consider ourselves the elite branch. But when we do it right. And so that's my least favorite part. When I have to sleep outside, I hate that part.
I understand. So do you think that sleeping outside is more for the other branches, as in the Army?
I think that it plays a part in U.S. Air Force. This is a much needed thing. We need to know because we support a lot of the other missions in other branches. So yeah, we need to do that. I just don't like it.
What exactly did you do in the Air Force? Like, what was your job?
I'm an air cargo specialist. I move special cargo. It means I move money, I move mail, I move bodies, I move ammunition.
So by bodies, you mean as in
Dead bodies. Yeah, we move dead bodies, special mail.
So what was your expression the first time you had to move a dead body?
It was solid. We moved more bodies during the 9/11 than we did during the Desert Storm. So it was overwhelming sometimes, quiet sometimes.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt. You were deployed to 9/11 to work there? Or?
No, I worked outside of Charleston Air Force Base. By that time, I had enough rank where I didn't have to go. But I've sent many others, and sometimes those bodies come back through Charleston Air Force Base. And it only happened because we were so busy during that time. So we had bodies coming through, not often, but often enough to make you feel, things are going on in the world.
Yeah.
It's unique, different.
Well, while we're on this subject, did you ever feel a time in your life where you felt like giving up?
Air Force stuff?
Yes.
Never. We don't give up in the Air Force. We just forge on.
What was your motivation?
Family. I think that's what I like about the Air Force. We believe in family. The mission comes first. And most of the time, the mission has to be the family. So if the family is right, then the mission will come first. And the Air Force promotes that. We believe that if you take care of home, then the mission will come first. So I like that about the Air Force. I like that about the family unit. They take care of me, therefore I can take care of you, the public.
That's a wonderful thing. As best as you can you describe your time in the Air Force in 6 words?
6 words, only 6 words. Ever changing. I don't think I spent one day where it's all the same. It's forever changing. 6 words, forever changing. Less than 6 words. I know it's either less or more for me, but the Air Force is forever changing. It changed me, it's changing, and it's still changing.
Can you pinpoint one day in your career in the Air Force that really just spoke out to you?
Yeah, but I don't really like to talk about it. I'm gonna leave that off camera if I can.
Sure.
That Desert Storm stuff is still with me. So I'm gonna leave that off camera.
Okay. Well, in the other branches, there are many different core values. Let's talk about some core values that apply to your life. What are your core values?
Well, I don't know if they're different core values. I believe that all the branches have the same core values. It's just how we use them. The value of life, I believe that's in all our branches. We value leadership and organization. I think all the values that extend through all the branches are pretty much the same. It's just how we use them.
So, can you tell me a little bit about what you did for your entertainment while you were?
It's much. People think that we have so many things to do. The Air Force. When you are the branch that people expect the most from, you kind of give the most. When you're in the desert and we got, what may be minimal to other people, like flushing toilets. We got flushing toilets. We got air conditions. We got beds. We got stuff. The Air Force provided things at home, those comfort things at home. So yeah, those are the things.
Other than the desert, where exactly did you go in the world?
I've been to Germany. I went to Germany. I've been to England. I've been to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. I've been to, it's a nice little place I've been to. Italy. It's great. A lot of fun. Those places. I do stateside. I like the States. A lot of people don't join the military to do the States, but I think stateside is one of the best sides. Just the southern areas. I've been to Alaska. Love Alaska. It's beautiful place. I think it's even prettier than Hawaii. I think so.
So would Alaska be your favorite place out of all the other countries?
No, I wouldn't pick Alaska to go to. Just go do a couple, just do a short tour there. I would say my favorite place, I would say Carolina. It's the spot. You know, people get stuck here. But I would say South Carolina has been the spot for me. I gotta say now, when I initially joined, I joined the Air Force as a reservist, and I've done as much active duty time as any other person. Being in the reserve allotted me a whole bunch of time as an active duty person, and I gotta say I enjoyed it.
So tell me a little bit about how it was being a female in the military.
Oh, as a young female, it was a little scary at first because it's just a few of us and there's tons and tons of guys. So it's a little scary, but it's also exciting because now I get to do all these things that people don't think women ought to be doing, but it was exciting.
Well, how was it when you first stepped on your job?
Well, let me start with basic training. Basic training, I hear people say that the horror stories of basic training, they got up and couldn't believe they were there. It wasn't like that for me. When basic training, it was hard. It was hard because it was something different I've been doing. But I had this great TI, great guy, who expected, even though he had a flight of females, we're going to do this. So he taught us some things that we didn't have before: unity, teamwork, good spirit. So it was hard, but it was fair. So about my first few days of basic training, I thought were overwhelming. But as time went on, it got to be easier. I started to overcome a lot of things, and the Air Force is big on education. So if you had a hard time reading, that was one of those stepping stones that you would fall over because that was a must. Now coming to my first base was Homestead Air Force Base. It's quiet. A lot of people call it a dead base. It's a reserve base now. It's nice. I have not been on an Air Force base that's not nice. It's just nice. We take care of our own. I've stayed, because of the Air Force, I've stayed in some of the best hotels in America. I would say the world. They take care of the people. They make sure that you can live right so that you don't miss so much of what it is that the world says you're going to miss. They take care of the people. And then for sometime when I was making rank and trying to get things going for myself, it got hard again. I got a rough patch in during the Desert Storm, Desert Shield War. But and all in all, I think I fared out pretty well.
Did you ever come in contact with any guys that segregated the females, that down-talked them?
I had this one guy when we first enlisted. I tell you, it's hard enough being a female. It's even harder being a black female. So I've every stripe on my shoulder, I guarantee I earned every one of them. So fighting with that, not just sexism, but racism, the very beginning, things are starting to change and have changed for the military and females and minorities. Things are really, really much better now. As my time went on, the more stripes I put on my arm, the better things got for me, the better I can make things get for me. So feeling like I was no one, nobody, that kind of went away from me. I don't know. I would say it was it's a life challenging experience. I made it through.
What would be the one thing that a person would need dealing with those kind of people?
Determination. Remember why you joined, and remember where you're trying to get to. And the people that you'll meet will always outweigh all that silliness and stupidness that you think that will flood into you. It won't be a flood. It'll feel like a flood. It's not a flood. Because the people on the outside, I mean, will shine away from you. Those are like few and far between. The unity among the military is, the blood we share is a military blood. So, I mean, you're always going to find those kind of people who will separate the male and the female. And there are, I'm not so far-fetched where I don't think there ought to be a few separation when it does come to male and female. You're going to find those people who separate on the black and white or whatever minority issue. But it'll be so many, I think that I've had less racism inside the military than all I've had outside of my life. Because when you're in the uniform promotes unity. So even though I think sometimes we get segregated because of black or female, I think that the outcome as time has changed, it has gotten better. I still disagree with some jobs that now females can have. I wouldn't want to be the EOD person, that's the ammunition person. I don't want to do that. I don't know anybody that wants to do that, but I can see why a bunch of guys want to do that. The thrill. I wouldn't want to be the person that leads the bomb squad. I wouldn't want to do that, but those jobs have now opened up to females. I still kind of disagree with those jobs. I think war zone, I don't think women need to be directly in the war zone because it distracts the guys from what they need to be doing. A lot of times they spend so much time trying to protect us, they forget that we all came in to do one job, to protect the U.S. So I think that in some aspects that females, we probably should have just stepped back on that issue.
So, okay, back in the 1950s, there was the feminist movement. And during the feminist movement, there were plenty of females that wanted to work and, wanted to go to war and stuff. Back in that time, do you feel as though you would be the kind of person to promote going to work, or would you be a female that would want to stay home?
I'm going to say, mind you, I'm not in the 50s, but if I was in the 50s, I'm a traditional kind of female. I'm traditional. I still believe there are some jobs that we just are not have. I think that it distracts males. If he has to spend so much time worried about whether I'm safe, where I'm at, then can he actually do his job? I don't think so. So let's not cloud the issue of what they came there to do. I think that we can play women played a great deal of to the war when those things go on. We did a lot of stuff to help in the war, and we can still do a lot of stuff. I just don't feel like we need to do that stuff.
Okay.
It's nothing wrong with being a homemaker. That's a hard job to have.
That's true. Okay, so we're gonna.
Well, I just want to say, in your defense, I'll probably edit this part out because it's just me talking, but ever since feminism came around, the idea was everyone needs to be the same, and we kind of forgotten about the differences of the sexes that make each special. It was like...
Most definitely.
It's kind of...
I'm going to always stand on that ground. I make quite a bit of females uncomfortable with that. I believe that we expect so much from males, so much, but yet we take away so many things that will make them great males. So if we keep taking from them, then they will believe that they don't have to do much. I really believe that. So I think if we give men the respect and the responsibility that they're supposed to have, and that will force them and forge them into what they need to do, and therefore we can handle those things that we need to do. I believe it. I'm never going to change my views on that. I make many females upset with me, but I say longevity. I've been married for 30 years, and he seems to be pretty happy with me.
There's your proof.
Yeah, and I don't look. I mean, you see me. Do I look like I'm not well taken care of? I'm okay with that. I think men will step to the plate 100% of the time if they're given the opportunity and they're put in that area where they have to do that. If we keep taking away from them, they'll do less and less. There's nothing wrong with being a strong woman. There's something wrong with trying to take over, though.
So, can you describe your time in the desert? I'm going to take it back a little bit.
Oh,
When you first got there, what kind of things were you around?
I'll give you a little piece of it. When I first got there, it was disturbing because when we got there, it was dark, and they threw all our stuff in the middle of the dirt. So here we are in a foreign land, at a foreign base, and we don't know anybody but the people that we brought, and here is our luggage in the middle of the desert. And we got to figure out what's going on. It was not the best of times. And then while I stayed there, I crashed a piece of equipment, ran it into a building. So it was a rough time for me getting started. It was not my best time in the desert. So that's a lot of times why I don't talk about it, because it was a very troubling time for me.
So determination is what kept you sane?
Family and that. I was determined to make sure that, that things went on as they were supposed to make sure that my career stayed intact, and make sure my family knew that I was safe.
So how did you keep in contact with your family?
The first go around was through telephones. That's all we did was telephone and write. First go around, but if you stay around the military long enough, things change. And the second go around, you can email. My husband's currently serving in Kosovo, and we FaceTime every night. So it's like I see him all the time. We talk all the time. This technology is great.
Is he in the Air Force?
No, my husband's Army.
Oh, that's what I think he said.
Yeah, I wouldn't marry anybody in the Air Force.
Why?
Yeah.
Too big of a difference. Too big of me and my husband, I've known him since high school. I think of the Army as the strong force of the military, and I kind of want my men to be like that too. I need a thinker as well as somebody that's strong. So I go with Army every time.
So were you guys high school sweethearts?
Yes, we were. We've been, I've known him, this April 25th, we've been married 30 years, and I've known him at least 34 years.
So what was his take on you going into the Air Force?
My husband's very supportive. He put his career on hold so that I could finish my career. That's why I said it's all about determination. He decided, he said, Vanessa, and he only calls me that when he really wants me to listen. I'm going to step back and kind of let you do your Air Force thing. That means that he sat home with the kids when they were little kids. And I went off and did all the things that I wanted to do. And I got my degree, and he made sure those things happened. And after our kids got older in their teenage years, I kind of slacked back and said, you know what, I'm easing out. I'm coming out of the Air Force. I'm going to let my husband take rank. Currently now, that's why his military career is now in a full, he's been in Kuwait for 3 years now, and our kids are older. I only have one kid at home who is a college student. So that kind of balanced out. That's what I mean. You don't have to sit home as a female, but you need to, I think there's like guidelines. There should be at least.
Makes sense. That makes sense. So how did it feel being away from your family?
Oh, I hated every moment. The first time, I think I might have cried every day, 30 days, when I first took off. And it gets easier, but you still cry. It doesn't matter. I always tell my husband, I say, you got the easy. I left the kids when they were little kids. I would come back home and they would say, "Who's that lady?" Oh, that hurt. So I told them, I said, you got the easy route. Your kids, they're grown, they're old, and they know who their father is. And I took them when it was just hard. So that was the hardest time, leaving the family and coming back and trying to get back into the swing of things.
What is that like, being a mother and having to be gone from your little ones?
Oh, I can see why people get out. It is a hard thing for people want to say female, but it is hard on both parents. for us to leave our little kids and put their care into someone else. So, I wouldn't, I mean, it's definitely somebody, it's for the strong will. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're not strong-minded, strong-willed, you won't last. And that's where the support comes in, where you need the support of your family to make sure this works. Because you won't have a 20-year career in the military if you don't have supportive family members.
Is that why you're such a motherly figure when it comes down to MMA?
You can thank my kids for that, most definitely. My kids are the reason that I do so well here in the military magnet. I treat every kid as if it was my own, and as if I won't get a chance to see them again. Every kid, they get Mama J's 100% attention. You are my kid. Nothing matters to me when I get to this building. My kids taught me that Mom, even if you're not here, know that we're going to do this, and we know that you care. But when you're back, we want our full attention. I'm back. You have Mama J. Mama J is going to take care of you.
Thank you vouch for that. Thank you vouch for that.
Yeah. We've been together a long time, me and Marie.
Yeah.
She said,
years. I said, who do you want to interview? She said, Mama J.
Oh, yeah.
I said, who is that?
You know, I remember when she was like a little clumsy. She just hurt herself all the time. But now she's blossomed to this awesome young lady. And I can't wait to see what the world brings to her. I can't wait. See, this is what a mother lives for. I'm never going to be without children. I'll never feel that again. I'll never be that person who will say, I don't have any kids, because I got kids for life.
So what brought you to the military academy?
I hated working at MUSC. I worked at MUSC, and I worked at MUSC as a telemetry tech, and I was working on getting my RN. I hated it. I hated, and I worked in peace cardiology. And working in peace cardiology means you're seeing little kids with their chest cracked open, and then they die. And one day I pulled up to MUSC, and the tears rolled down my face, and I went home and I talked to my husband. He said, Vanessa, quit. You don't have to work, you know, I provide the living, you quit. So I decided that I want to be somewhere with the kids where I feel like I can really help them. And here, and I could use my military bearing to do so. Here, I can do that here. And while I took a pay and cut, I've gained so much more. I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't change anything that I did, the money or anything. I've gained so much more coming in USA. I got kids for life. I got grandchildren. I mean, I got son-in-laws. I got daughter-in-laws. I'm living large now. I got family for days. I don't have any family in the state other than my immediate family. But I got Marie. I got my daughter. I got all these kids. It's awesome.
So you keep in touch with the students?
Oh, most definitely. I go to church. If they want me to come to church, if they are overseas, we still write. I get baby pictures. They bring their wives to my house. They bring their husbands over. I'm keeping in touch. These are my kids. We grew up together. I'm never leaving them. Until it's time.
So what is one thing that, if you could change about the military life, you had?
Oh, if I could change. So many things. I probably would hire all teachers that had military. I would only hire teachers with military background. That would be my first thing, because they gotta understand how things work, so they won't think that we're being harsh or hard on the kids. Everybody has to have a military background, and I'd probably be making more Air Force too. I would put the twist in the Air Force. I often tell people when I become the commandant, I'm gonna switch everything Air Force style. When we get to know each other a little better, and when I talk to you, you understand that I really mean it for you, for the goodness of you.
What's the second thing that you would change?
At the magnet, not at the school district, not at the magnet. I would add, I would create a parade field for us.
What about at the district level?
I was just
If you could.
We have to hire, we hire military personnel. to run the district. Because most definitely, that person knows how to manage people. I think that the district, you know, we're so big at being nice to the public that we forget that the real thing here is the kids, and we ought to do it for the kids.
So, would you say that more people should have military bearing in order to understand people?
This is my honest take on this. I think every young person who walks the stage with in cap and gown ought to give the U.S. 2 years of their time. Because if nothing else, it'll give them a skill, it'll teach them, it'll have stability, and they will earn the degree of leadership. I really believe that. I mean, I know that. I just think that those things are important. And then after 2 years, they could go off to college and do all those wonderful things.
But at least they'll have the leadership.
They'll have that leadership behind them. They'll know what it is to be on their own and to serve someone. I just believe that.
Do you think that each teacher should conduct themselves in a military bearing, even if they...
Most definitely. Even though they're not military, I think if every teacher was in a military bearing, that they will understand the aspects of how the school should be run and what to expect. Yes, I do.
Are the teachers here given a military handbook?
Oh yeah, they get training too. I mean, sometimes they're not always using that training on the books, but they get everything they need. You know, sometimes they just don't come on board.
So if you were the commandant here, would you enforce that?
Yeah, I'd probably get in a lot of trouble, but yeah. Yes, I would.
Well, Master Sergeant Johnson, this concludes our interview. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. Thank you for participating in this interview.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Anything for you. You know I love you.